means praise. And that is so fitting for us. Here's God, again, in Numbers chapter 2, which we could just think, okay, bunch of names, bunch of numbers, bunch of directions, north, south, east, west, doesn't really tell me a lot. Actually, it tells us a ton. Not only does it tell us that God is a God of order, right? That these are people that he's bringing together. Remember, they were formerly slaves. And they don't have any order. So when we have like the Levitical laws, when we have the laws of Deuteronomy, once again being proclaimed by Moses as we go forward in these next couple of days, remember that God is making them into a people who have the strength to be free. Because think about how difficult it would be to live your entire life for generations of slaves. And then all of a sudden you have your freedom. And then all of a sudden you're in the wilderness, and then all of a sudden you're being reminded of who you are as a people. So it's so important here that the tribes of Israel are being divided up into their families, right? Into the families of Israel. And what that does is it reminds them, oh, this is my identity. Not only am I one of the tribes of Israel, I'm this tribe of Israel. And not only is it this kind of generic tribe or generic family, but it's not. It's this specific family under this specific head of the family. And there's something so powerful about knowing your identity here. And so God is giving them order. He's giving them their identity. And again, they're ordered all around the tabernacle. The presence of God is at the center of everything they are and everything that they do. Why? Because they were formerly slaves, and God is training them to be the kind of people who can live freely, people who can live well, right? They can actually not abuse freedom, but will actually live in freedom. Now, obviously, the story is a lot bumpier than that. They do not necessarily do this, but he is shaping them and forming them into the kind of people that can be free. So that's the order of the camp. And Judah goes up first, right? Praise goes up first. And that's a lesson for all of us when it comes to how we begin our day. It's so important for us to at least take a moment to praise God and to let praise go up first, and even to praise his faithfulness. So in the book of Deuteronomy today, in Deuteronomy chapter 2, we have a number of times where here is Moses, again, he's recapping their journey, and they go through the land of the Edomites, right? And he says, don't attack them. Why? Because the Edomites are the descendants of Esau. Remember, Esau is the twin brother of Jacob, aka Israel. And so no, they're your family. So you're not going to attack them, and you're going to dwell peacefully with them, and they're going to sell you food and water, and you're going to buy it, and you're going to like it. And then we're going to go into the land of Ammon, and that is the land of Lot, right? Lot, the nephew of Abraham. You're not going to attack them either, because they're your family. They're distant family, but still, not only are they your family, but I gave them this land. I gave Esau and his descendants, the Edomites, this land. I gave Lot and his descendants, the Ammonites, this land. And so I am faithful, and I'm going to give you your land too, but it's not this land. And that's, again, so vitally important for all of us to understand this depth of we can praise God for his faithfulness. And then Moses recounts the battle that is there in Numbers chapter 21. We'll get to that in roughly 18 or 19 days from now, but against Sihon, the king of the Amorites. And again, one of the things that can bother us, we could say, this is so great. Here is the people of Israel being led past the Edomites. No wars. That's awesome. That's so good. And there's peace. And led past the Ammonites and the descendants of Lot. And that's good. And there's peace. But then we're going to encounter battles. We're going to encounter violence. And that can really disturb us because we're not necessarily accustomed to associating violence with God. That's one of the things that we are typically not accustomed with. And at the same time, we have to be comfortable with being uncomfortable. And there are ways to understand this. But the first thing I have to do is say, okay, I'm going to be comfortable with being uncomfortable. If I am not really comfortable with the notion, with the idea, with the reality that as the people of Israel came into possession of the promised land, they had to fight for it. And if I'm not comfortable with that, I invite you to hang on still, because there is an explanation. It's not to explain it away, but it is to understand more deeply what is it that God is doing in the midst of a violent world. God does not desire violence for its own sake at all. He doesn't desire death. In fact, in the book of Wisdom, he says, God does not make death, nor does he rejoice in the destruction of the living. So we know that the heart of God is not one that rejoices in violence at all, and doesn't rejoice in death at all. But we live in a broken world and in a violent world. We live in a world where that is what we do to each other. There is depth of explanation about this. And my invitation for all of us is to hold on because there is an explanation coming. But also there is a lot of violence coming too. And that's part of our story. It's kind of like when we have a family and we say, we have great times. We also have some big fights. We have some really great, heroes in our family. We also have some scoundrels in our family. We have some great moments of glory in our families, and we have some great moments of shame in our families. And this is the family of God. And the family of God is very, very similar. So, as I said, please hang on because it all is going to make sense. I promise. It is all going to make sense. In the meantime, let Judah go up first. In the meantime, let praise go up first. In the meantime, we situate our lives like the Israelites situated their tents and their families and their tribes around the tabernacle. We center God in the midst of our lives. And when he's in the midst of our lives and praise goes up first, then there's nothing that can stop us because he's at the center and we're on his side. Keep praying for each other. You guys, it's day 53 and we're moving along, but it sometimes can get easy to get bogged down, easy to get distracted, easy to get off track. So let's stay on track and let's give God the praise that is due today. My name's Father Mike. I cannot wait to see you tomorrow. God bless.